living single, living single.
Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to Awkward Situations, a series where you guys leave comments about embarrassing moments in your life or awkward situations that you're currently dealing with or have dealt with in the past. And then I take a few of those comments and I talk about them, especially if they relate to my life. That usually helps, because if I can't relate to it, I usually don't talk about it, or I bring on a guest that I can talk about it with, because I try not to talk about things that I don't know about. So that's what this series is. If you like that intro music, it's always in the description. I've been seeing more and more comments lately like, what's this music? Where do I find this music? I link it in the description every video. So that's where you can find that. A lot of you guys last week said that you liked the face cam. There was maybe like 3 or 4 people that said they didn't like it, and maybe 20 or more people that said they did like it, so I'm going to do a face cam now. I don't know if I'll always do a face cam. I don't know if I'll always have video game gameplay. That's kind of the thing that I think about when I have a face cam. It's like, well, then why am I even putting gameplay on these videos? But I'm putting gameplay on because I like playing video games and I like having gameplay in the background, and I've always had gameplay in the background, so maybe I won't always have gameplay in the background of these videos, but this is actually a gameplay I like. Well, it's a series of gameplays I liked. I just recorded for 40 minutes, or it was like 37 minutes, the Weekend Warfare playlist on Modern Warfare Remastered. Every weekend, the developers put out a special playlist that people can play on. And this weekend it was snipers only. It is snipers only. It's still the weekend, and I've been having a lot of fun on that. So this was just a 40-minute session. I played in the same lobby every session. Some games I did better than others, but I was having a good time. So that's what's going on in the background. And let me hit you guys with an update real quick. I'm sorry this intro is super long, but I have an update on a previous awkward situation. I'll link the timestamp link of this awkward situation below. I believe this was a couple episodes ago, maybe 1 or 2, but it was from a person who said that he was playing CSGO with his friends, and one of his friends had a new girlfriend, and they were all on a Skype call, and this guy was joking around about, his friend's girlfriend, hey, you got a girlfriend? What about all those women you sleep with? Or some stupid jokes. I don't remember, but I'll link it in the description below if you want to actually watch that situation and catch up on what he said and what I said. But he followed up and said, follow up, hey Joel, thank you for covering my situation. It was the number 11. My friend was pretty upset with me, and it's been a little awkward since. I apologized to him and her separately, which is something I said to do, and she is okay with me now. However, my friend is still upset and acts differently now towards me. Hopefully time heals everything, and if not, oh well, he means a lot to me and would be very sad if that broke us apart. You did what you could, man. I'm glad you apologized to both of them separately. You said your friend still acts a little weird towards you. Time will more than likely heal that rift. Maybe it won't, but just from all of the life experiences I've had and things I've had to apologize to friends over, time tends to heal all wounds. I could actually answer 40 to 70% of all of the comments by saying, time will fix this, but that's not very entertaining for a video. So I appreciate the follow-up, and if you guys ever see your awkward situations in a video and want to follow up, I appreciate that, and I think the viewers appreciate seeing the follow-up. So with that long-ass intro out of the way, let's get to the first awkward situation right now. Today's first awkward situation says, okay, so I'm 17 from England, and I had this pretty awkward situation. I'm really conscious about my nose. It has a huge bump on the bridge of it. I think it's called a Roman nose. Basically, to avoid it, and so nobody notices it, I wear clear lens glasses that hide the bump. Everybody says I look far more attractive in the glasses. The awkward thing is that my mom doesn't know about this, and one of my friends asked when she was around my place, where are your glasses? My mom heard her and said, what glasses? This is awkward as fuck because my mom thinks I'm unhappy with the way I look. I'm not, apart from my huge fucking nose. And I guess my friends kind of know I don't need glasses, and they always tell me to take them off, so awkward, please help. I chose this situation because I wanted to take a little trip with you guys down memory lane. So if you're not watching the video right now, if you're just listening to this like a podcast, maybe go back later and look at some of these pictures. I'm going to show some pictures of myself in high school. I used to wear sunglasses all the time in high school, way before Casey Neistat made it cool. I used to wear sunglasses a lot because I had trouble, and I still have trouble with, making eye contact with people. I think it's an anxiety thing, and I don't know how to describe how I'm feeling when I'm trying to look at someone in the eyes, but it's extremely hard for me to do. Even when my wife is talking to me, I tend to want to fidget and do something else, and I'm still listening to her, but I just can't stand still or make, I don't know, it's difficult for me. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that. But let me show you some pictures of myself wearing sunglasses in high school, some of the ugliest sunglasses you've ever seen. Ugly $7 sunglasses, or probably they were even cheaper than that, is what I used to wear all the time. So here's a picture of me at prom in 2009 wearing some wonderful purple sunglasses. Here's another picture of me at prom in 2009 wearing some blue shaded lens sunglasses. I don't know, the ones that Kanye West wore in the Stronger video, except they actually have a lens behind them and they're very ugly. And here's another picture of me at prom in 2009 wearing white sunglasses. I brought 3, possibly 4 pairs of sunglasses to prom that year. I don't know where I kept them, but that is, and why is my fucking jacket buttoned here? It looks like it's trying to escape. It can't breathe. You unbutton your jacket. I wish my dad was there when we were taking these pictures. He would have told me to unbutton that damn. Well, whatever. You know, you make embarrassing fashion choices when you're younger. Here's another one. I was in a glow golf tournament at the golf course that I worked at. And glow golf, by the way, is really fun. It's when you play golf in the dark with glow-in-the-dark balls. And I wrote stealth on some glasses because we called ourselves Team Stealth. I don't know, but we didn't end up winning. I think it said, oh wait, we did end up winning. It says champs on the shirt, and it looks like there's a semen stain, but that's actually just a stain from the glow paint that we were using, and probably semen. And this is a picture of myself after I made a speech for, I can't remember what, there was some award ceremony, and I was just making speeches at it. I don't know if I was emceeing, but I'm wearing some ugly green glasses here. I wasn't wearing those during the speech, thank God. And look at this beautiful all-white ensemble. I look like the lead singer of a Christian pop group. This is a picture of myself and Megan in Grand Haven in about 2010. I don't know if she'd like me sharing this picture because I think we look a lot more attractive now as a couple, but I was wearing some mirrored sunglasses here. This is a picture of myself and my sister in Chicago in 2010. And this is a picture of me in 2011, and I don't have any body hair, and I look really good with my shirt off. And I don't look like that anymore, so this doesn't have anything to do with anything. I just wish I still looked like this. So why'd I share all those pictures with you? Just to show you that I went through the same thing, Mr. Bridge Nose dude, and no one ever told me to take the sunglasses off, although they probably should have because they looked fucking hideous. I'm sorry that you have, I don't want to, maybe I shouldn't make this assumption based off of this one situation, but I'm sorry that you have some douchey friends that want you to take the glasses off, because I bet you do look smoking hot with those frame glasses on. I know a couple of people that wore clear lens glasses and just liked them, and they didn't need them. No one ever made a comment about it. I think that's unfortunate when people comment on other people's fashion choices, because you can make people feel self-conscious about things without really knowing. I was looking up celebrities with bridged noses, and it turns out Nicole Kidman, or a Roman nose, that's what you called it. I mean, bridged nose, I guess it's the same thing. Nicole Kidman has one, rich, beautiful, and famous. And I believe Tom Cruise had one. I don't know, there were a bunch of celebrities. Also, Joseph Stalin had one, so that's a bad person with a Roman nose. But there are a bunch of celebrities that have this. It's a totally normal thing that you'll get used to and not care so much about when you're older. I used to be very self-conscious about my hair. I actually still am a little bit, but I kind of like don't care about it now. I like to do goofy shit with it because who fucking knows how long I'll have hair. I don't have a receding hairline, but maybe I do. So, I'll just mess with it and not really care how I look. Although I do think I look more attractive as an adult. You get more confident as you get older, and this won't be an issue. But it's going to be a funny memory for you to look back on. If you want to wear your glasses, just tell your friends, I think I am losing my vision because staring at you and seeing how ugly you are is actually making it harder for how many hands. I can't even see how many hands are in front of my face right now. It looks like 3 because my vision's getting so bad because I'm staring at your ugly ass face. So just something like that. If you need to throw that out at them, use that verbal fuel to kill them. To kill them with your verbal fuel and fire. I don't know what that means, but let's move on to the second awkward situation right now. Second awkward situation comes from an awesome dude who comments on a lot of my videos, even the shitty ones, so I appreciate that. Hey Joel, got an awkward situation for you. So I'm 32, working up in my company at my position. I recently was told I was number 5 in the company out of nearly 4,000 people based on my performance numbers. That's awesome. A lot of people praised me by liking my status on Facebook about it, and I was proud until my mother-in-law comments, and I quote, Bust a nut, son. Congrats. Everyone who commented received that notification. I began to receive screenshots and text messages of friends and family laughing at my behalf. This isn't the first time she has embarrassed me and my wife publicly, but she means well. She just doesn't understand what's okay and not okay. She thought she was being cool. I don't think she knows what she was saying. I really hope she doesn't know what she was saying. I love my mother-in-law, but what do I do? How should confront her, or should I just leave it be and laugh it off anyways? Love this series, thanks. I would possibly have your wife confront your mother about this phrase specifically, because this isn't a terrible situation for her to use the situation. I'm sure you probably ejaculated in some form after, hearing about your good performance review, whether it be through masturbation or some type of intimate act with your wife. But, obviously she didn't mean to say it that way. So I would have your wife tell her, hey, just don't say this again, because what if she was at church with your nephew or your niece or your son or daughter, and she, after they performed a beautiful melody in the church choir, the church children's choir. I was in a children's choir at my church, and what if I just sang a beautiful rendition of Ave Maria, and then I'm walking down from the lectern or whatever, and my mom just yells out, "Great job, Joel! You just busted a nut!" I would be like, "Mom, don't say that. We're sinning. Please, God, don't kill us. We're sinners." So yeah, you want to try to find a way for your wife to mention that to her parents, because if I'm dealing with an issue with Megan's parents, I would have Megan talk to them about it, unless it's specifically about her, and vice versa. So that's a very interesting and awkward situation. I'm trying to think of a case of being embarrassed by my parents and things they said that were out of context or that they don't understand what they said. That's one of my biggest fears about getting older, that I'm not going to understand things and I'm going to become uncool. But you naturally become less cool the more you age, and I think it's better to just act your age as opposed to trying to act like the younger, hipper generation. I've actually been trying to buy more adult clothes lately because I'm getting closer to dad age than I am to college age. I'm progressing away from college age, and I still buy the long line tees. They're kind of more urban type clothing, like the Portland skater style type clothes, but long tees just look like normal size tees on me, so I don't even think that's a bold fashion choice. I'm buying more sweaters and fashion boots, if that makes sense. But I remember my mother used to say to me that she was madder than a hornet when she got really angry because her mother told her that, and she said that to me in public one time, and I got really embarrassed. Not because that was one of those young kid slang terms that was taken out of context, just because it sounds really fucking stupid, because hornets don't have emotions, and she gets really red when she's angry. So what she should have said is, I'm madder than a strawberry with human emotions, because she looked like a strawberry. But I love my beautiful mother, and I'm sorry to publicly call you out like that, Mom. I just hated when I've told her many times I hated when she said that as a kid, and I wish she would have just said, "You little fucking dummy," instead. But it's okay. Your parents say things that are embarrassing. Your parents-in-laws say things that are embarrassing, and you move on. But definitely have your wife talk to your mother-in-law about that if you can. Let's move on to the next awkward situation. Awkward situation, I get invited to a few parties throughout my weekend, and I'm never up to going to them, so I usually just make an excuse because I'm socially awkward and not that good at making conversation when I go. I'm oftentimes on my phone, not participating in the party's activities. It takes me a while for me to open up to people. You could say any advice that could help me with this. Thanks in advance if anyone reads this. I chose this because I'm the same way. I didn't go to a lot of parties in high school. I think I went to maybe 4 or 5, or I went to after dance parties and a few others, but I really didn't like going out. I still to this day don't like going out. I actually just got a text from one of my friends asking me to go out tonight, and I kind of want to go out. I'm better with it now because I know that even though I don't want to go out, once I go out, I have a good time, and I'm happy that I went. I more don't want to go out tonight because I have a lot of stuff to do, but I guess I'll figure that out on my own. You guys don't need to help me with that. But in high school, I didn't want to go out because I was afraid of interacting socially with people in scenarios that I couldn't control. That's what a party is. Usually, it's not a structured scenario. Things can happen at parties. People can do heroin. People can play a game where they throw glass flower vases at each other and you try to dodge them. I don't think that actually happens at parties, but it's just an uncontrolled environment, and you don't maybe know a lot of the people there. You don't know the house, so I would always get uncomfortable with those scenarios. What I would say is two things. One, it's okay to not want to go to those situations and to make excuses. Let me give you the downside of this. First of all, I don't really regret not going out a lot in high school. People always say, you're going to regret it if you don't do this, and you're going to regret it if you don't have experiences. I do regret not being more involved in video production and newspaper and creative endeavors in high school, because I feel like it would have made me a more creative person and challenged me a little bit more in college, and I'd be a lot better at that stuff today. But I don't regret missing out on parties and drinking $3 disgusting beer like Busch Light and Natty Light, or what's the other one? Natural Ice, Keystone Light. It's really disgusting. The first beer I ever drank at a party was Busch Light, and I thought that's what all beer tasted like, so I didn't drink beer again for like 4 years, and now I realize that it can taste good in many scenarios. But, just drinking beer and talking about stupid shit, it's not the most entertaining thing in the world. And that was back in the day before smartphones were a thing. So if I went to a party now, I would definitely be on my smartphone. If I ever go to a club, it's hard to resist the urge to not just look at my phone. You pay for the cover to get in. You pay for a super expensive drink. You're $50 deep in the club, and you're just standing in there looking at your phone, the same thing you would be doing if you were on your couch at home. It's kind of dumb. I should dance and stuff, and sometimes I do, now that I'm older and more confident. But it's okay if you don't want to go to these parties. You might regret it a little bit in this sense. I am less close to my friends in high school because I did not go out with them a lot, and I still have a lot of love for them. I think they still have a lot of love for me. However, I know I'm not as close to some of them because I didn't go out with them. And it doesn't really upset me because you naturally move away from people after you graduate. I would say one person that I went to high school with that I'm still super close with. And I had a lot of friends in high school, but it just gets harder and harder to maintain contact with people after you go your separate paths in life. You live in different cities, you do different things career-wise. It gets a little harder to stay in contact with people. But if you don't feel like you're going to regret that aspect of it, I don't think it's terrible to not go out. If you do get up the courage to go out, like I said, I've never gone out and regretted it. I've always ended up having a good time. You say that you find it hard to interact, and I don't know how, I guess I don't have great advice for that. Alcohol actually has a purpose. It makes it easier to talk to people. It reduces your anxiety just to get buzzed a little bit. I have to use alcohol all the time. That makes it sound like it's my fucking medicine. But I do drink alcohol on occasion if I'm going to play with my friends online and I've had a stressful day or I'm just feeling anxious, as I do from time to time. It's kind of weird to say that because I don't want to be dependent on that stuff, and I'm not. I'll drink it like 3, 4, maybe 262 times a week, but it's not a thing that I need. But if I know I'm having a rough day and I want to have a better time, I'll drink it. And sometimes my wife and I'll drink together, and we have a much more fun time as couples because you want to be on your phone less and you want to be talking to people more. So if I can recommend alcohol, I feel like that's kind of a shitty solution because you might not want to drink, but I'm saying it does have a purpose. You don't have to get blackout drunk. I have never been blackout drunk in my life. I've been pretty damn close to the point where I didn't know how to properly urinate, but I know where my line is, and most people know where their line is. You don't have to get blackout drunk to have a good time, and actually getting blackout drunk is a terrible time in my opinion. I will not drink mixed drinks anymore. I don't drink Jack and Cokes. I don't drink really sugary wines, or at least I try not to. I try not to drink certain types of beers because I know I'll wake up with a hangover the next day. I try to drink clean drinks like straight liquor or just not super light beers because I feel better the next day. That's when you get older, you start to realize, oh, having a fun night and then having a terrible morning is not a 1-for-1 trade, in my opinion. It's a lost cause. So I try to just know that, and I know my line. And if you know your line and just trust that you're going to have a good time. My mom always used to say, trust me, you're going to enjoy it. And she was always right. Now Megan says that to me, and she's always right. So all I can say is I think you're going to enjoy it if you just let yourself go out a couple of times. You don't have to go out every time. You don't have to be a party animal, but you'll have some great experiences. And if I would have went out more, I would have had more fun stories to share with you guys. I'm pretty short on cool high school stories because I didn't go out a lot, but I got a couple. So let's do one more awkward situation. This might be too long for my gameplay, but I'll do it, whatever. I was driving in a group after a party I went to. We're all car guys. I announced that I was going to split up and head home. When I turned on my turn signal, split off and go home, I imagine these guys were all in a line on a two-way road, by the way. So that's how I'm picturing it, if you guys want to picture it similarly. The guy behind me, we'll call him my friend, I guess, took off to pass me. I started to turn, and he hit me on the driver's side and totaled my new car. Actually, I don't know if that works with my analogy of how I was picturing them driving. Whatever. This guy didn't need to go this way, and he did anyway and hit his friend. So this guy continues on. We're both okay, but I don't think I can be this guy's friend anymore. He said he thought my turn signal meant to pass me. My car is totaled, and my insurance is going to absolutely ruin me. I probably won't get to have a car for a few years because insurance will be too expensive. Any advice on how to handle this situation? Upvote so Joel sees, please. This is one of those situations I'd like a follow-up on because you don't know that your insurance is going to ruin you, and I don't understand how your insurance can ruin you if it's not your fault in the accident. I got in Michigan actually has a law that is really kind to the drivers, I would say. I can't remember what the specific law is. It might be called no fault, where you get in a no fault car accident where both parties are not technically at fault. I don't know if that's what this would be classified as. I don't know what state you live in, but I think you're maybe just assuming the worst. Maybe your insurance won't ruin you, but I guess you'll have to update me on that situation once it gets resolved. So I will kind of just ignore that part, and we'll talk about the friend being a douche. I think everyone is a douche with a car when they first get it, and some people remain douches with cars for the rest of their life. Sometimes I'm a douche with my car, but I try to be less of a douche now because I've had a few scary situations where I honestly should have gotten the shit beat out of me for things that I did. I've shared one probably twice now on awkward situations before where I pulled out in front of a much older, bigger, stronger dude in my high school when I didn't need to at all, when I was going to pick up my girlfriend for a dance, and he yelled at me, but he didn't beat me up, and he could have beat me up. And another time, I was driving with my friends on a back road. We lived out in the country, myself and my family, and a lot of my friends lived out in the country too. And we were just driving and doing really stupid shit. I mean, the road speed limit is 55 miles per hour. And I mean, we were maybe going like 80, so it was really dumb. And I pulled up behind a car. There was no other cars on this road. And I pulled up behind a car and I sped past him. We like got in the other lane and revved up and went by him. And that's something that some of my other friends have done. And like to, just blow by a car and I don't know, be annoying, and they've gotten chased down before for doing that, and I feel like I would have gotten chased down in the situation, but we actually drove by one of our other close friends, so he just called me a fucking idiot, and we moved on from it. Clearly, cars are a big part of your relationship to your friend, so the fact that your friend was such a douche with his car and it caused you to lose your car is going to be a rift in your friendship. If it feels like it's indicative of a bigger personality problem and you don't want to be friends with him anyway, I don't think that's a totally bad thing. But I hope he understands that what he did was wrong and he apologized. I don't know what to say other than that really sucks. I hope that cars can drive themselves sooner rather than later, because I really think this is something we're going to look back on and tell our grandkids about, and they're going to be like, I can't believe you were allowed to drive those, however much car, what do they weigh, like 3,000 pounds, maybe more, maybe less. I have no idea what cars weigh, but you were allowed to drive those big hunks of metal around at super fast speeds, and you were in total control of them, and 40,000 something people die in a car accident every year, and that's the acceptable number of death in the United States of America, which is kind of weird to think about, but I don't think that's going to be a thing for our children or grandchildren, at least grandchildren. So I think I've said that before, but that's just one of those interesting future things that I think about. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe Well, actually, maybe there will be robot cars in the future, but the people that drive the cars themselves will be like the crazy ones. There's this scene in iRobot where the cars are going really fast because it's the future and they do drive themselves, but Will Smith has to take over the car at one point, and I think someone makes a remark to him about him being crazy for driving at that fast of a speed, and maybe that's what it will be in the future, and my grandchild will become a futuristic NASCAR racer where he's driving the car at a super fast speed, 300 miles per hour, and all the robot cars drive on the road. But my grandchild, little Dave, is, well, God, I hope my kid doesn't name his kid Dave. David, whatever. See, he's driving in a NASCAR race with his hands, and then he wins the race, and I'd be there, and I'd be an old man, and I'd say, "Great job, Dave, you busted a nut," and he'd be really embarrassed. So I think we've come full circle. I hope you don't have any problems with that insurance, but please follow up and let me know, and then we could talk about financial situations from there. I feel like it's been a pretty successful episode of Awkward Situations. Leave your awkward situations and embarrassing comments in the comments below. I'll probably have a guest next week. I said I was going to have a guest this week, but I guess slacked off and didn't get a guest in time, and people that I wanted to talk to are at PAX East, and there's other things going on in other people's lives, so I don't know. I hope you still appreciated this episode. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all later. Goodbye.
I ain't one for second place while I'm living single. You can't add a whole thing, so I'm dropping singles. Yeah, you can kill the hate when you living single.